Hi, and welcome to the next episode of Belly to Belly. And we're here today to talk about agency partnerships and how to activate them. And we're with a great friend, Tom Balanda from Simpli.fi. Hey, Tom.
How you doing, Bill? How's it going?
I'm fantastic, thank you. And so this topic, I mean, our audience are all high growth tech companies who are kind of really working hard on building their partner networks. And I think an area that often gets overlooked are agencies and how to leverage those. Maybe if you wouldn't mind just starting with kind of talking through what's unique about agency partnerships and why are they so important?
Absolutely. And to give some background, I started in sales roles at SaaS companies. So it was you sell to a business, you hand them off to CS, and on to the next one. When it comes to agency partnerships, though, and being within that realm and nurturing an agency relationship at a SaaS platform, it's all about trust and about accountability because you are held accountable for things that might happen post sale or the churn rate of their customers and your platform, whatever it might be. There's a lot more at stake with an agency partnership than there is with a single sale.
So maybe you could talk us through that a little bit. It sounds like agencies have a sense of risk in terms of whether or not to introduce you to one of their clients. Can you talk us through why that might be and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, and to put it to context, say if you have a referral partnership with another tech company, say an integration partner, those referrals that you're getting from them and vice versa, you think about them the same way. Annual subscription, similar churn rate, similar value to your entire annual revenue. For an agency, there's a lot more risk with each individual client because an agency typically works with maybe up to a couple hundred businesses, depending on how big the agency is, where a tech platform would work with several thousand. So that's where the risk comes into play on the agency side. And there has to be some empathy, some understanding from the tech platform partnership side.
And so how do you, besides empathy, which obviously is critically important to seeing things from other people's perspective, how do you overcome that? How do you build trust? What are sort of the nurturing steps that you go through to both kind of create flow and then sustain flow, I suppose, are the critical path.
Well, and to make very clear, partnerships is a revenue focused department. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But viewing a new agency partnership as a revenue engine right off the bat is not a good way to look at it because that doesn't help build trust with that agency because they know that you're not necessarily focused on the success of the partnership or the collaboration. You're just focused on the volume. And this is where I think a lot of other people in partnerships are starting to realize this. A give first mentality is crucial when starting a new relationship. And what I mean by that is not necessarily saying, hey, let's get this new client on, let's get this first case study going. Take a step back, look for some of the lower hanging fruit, maybe a mutual customer or someone that is familiar with both sides, because it's a lot more risk for an agency to introduce a new tech partner to one of their clients because they're getting maybe tens of thousands of dollars from them a month, at least that, where a tech partner is going to be maybe a couple thousand a month, maybe 100K a year max, depending on the size of the platform. So there's a risk reward there that's a much bigger game to play on the agency side. And if you start with that give first mentality, hey, let's look at some stuff that we already are working on together. That helps build trust quicker because it uses more familiarity right off the bat.
Yeah, as you're talking, I'm almost hearing, I just remember that Aesop's fable around the goose and the golden egg, right? The idea,
Yes.
the idea of being careful to respect the goose and to nurture and to maintain the health and safety of the goose the whole time, or else you may never see another golden egg.
Right.
Yeah, interesting. So, are there certain success signals, kind of early indicators, either that you see of we're going in the right direction, or maybe red flags of things where you may need to remediate a relationship in some way?
That's a good question. But I mean, that varies with the type of relationship you have. So, for example, most of my previous experience has been within the marketing tech side, within Martech SaaS, and that's annual subscription. You're part of a larger tech stack, and you're one piece of a very large pie that this agency partner is managing, quarterbacking for on behalf of their client. Where now I'm in an ad tech world for Simpli.fi. This is programmatic paid media. And that's just consistent working within collaboration where it's not just set it and forget it and hope that and track and hope that there's success. There's a lot of back and forth iterations, A/B testing where the agency plays a big role and we're consistently communicating. I think the communication, the rate, the frequency of communication with that agency is the biggest indicator as to how involved, how bought in they are, and honestly, how well there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of synergy there.
That's cool. Are there sort of habits you've developed over time to sort of I think of priming the pump, but things that you kind of naturally do to create better communication in the early stages?
I think a lot of it comes down to setting the right scene and expectations internally. Because there is sometimes a bit of a skepticism or a little bit of a fear to involve a partner, especially for sales reps, because they don't want to stall their deal cycle. They don't want to potentially give their deal up to a company that might might suggest that the company use a different platform. There's a lot of fear and a lot of hesitation there. So that's where getting the internal teams in the right mindset, whether it's the sales team or the customer success team that's managing mutual customers, making sure that they understand that this is an advocate of ours. If we play this right, and they are the inside track, they know more about this client than we do. And the reason why working with them would benefit us is, one, we'd have more insight and another line of support to this customer. So say if there's billing issues or we need to, they're falling off, whatever it might be, figuring out how this conversation, this relationship helps with their KPIs. And usually for customer success, it's churn rate. For sales, it's time to close and the size of the deal.
That's cool. Yeah, no, it makes so much sense. And so when you look at the sort of the relationship, I would imagine that agency relationships are a bit more complex too, because you have whatever leadership that you first interact with, and then at the client level, you have a client management team or a client relationship team that is, day-to-day responsible for that relationship. Do you find that there's early in the relationship, sort of celebrating the first 1, 2, 3, 4 wins, and really recognizing the client team or whatnot who sort of manage that process is helpful to the other relationship managers within the agency? Are there things that you do there, especially to promote even joint proposals going in or whatnot within, so that the rest of the team sees, or you have more visibility within the agency?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's especially from my side, and I'll make sure that the agency knows it, is as soon as we have some traction or any kind of success story, I'm shouting it from the rooftops at my company. I'm sharing it all the Slack and making sure to shout out and highlight the customer success rep or the sales rep that played a big role in it, because it does spread FOMO. Yeah. And that's where sometimes you get the internal team over that fearful hump.
Right. Yeah. It's like the 4-minute mile, right? Once one person breaks it,
then
the second person, the third, the fourth is it's much easier. Yeah. Interesting. So is there, if you had this sort of imperative to create results sort of in the first 30, 60, 90 days, whatever the right fair time horizon is, maybe that's the first proposal, or the first indicator of some activity. What would be kind of the top 3 or 5 things that you'd focus on?
It's a good question. I would say how many different threads we have going on, because once say within the first couple weeks or the first month, if you get one client team on both sides of the fence integrated and they're going back and forth on a thread, you don't stop there. You keep going with the traction and really try to get as many different threads going for as many mutual customers or new opportunities for either one of them going within the first 30 to 60 days. And I mean, it's you have to look at it as like a sales rule. It's 30% at best. 30% are going to close. Now, granted, with partner involved deals, I've seen the win rate get closer to 60 to 70%, which always is pretty enticing for some sales reps if they're a little skeptical. But within those first 2 months, it's the sprawl.
Right.
Really focus on how many roots you have in the ground.
Gotcha. No, that makes total sense. Tom, this has been fantastic. Would you mind just taking a moment and sharing with our audience what Simpli.fi does to help companies?
Absolutely. And I've been at Simpli.fi for just over 3 months now, managing their agency brand partnerships in the Northeast. And Simpli.fi is an ad tech platform, demand-side ad tech platform focused on programmatic ad buying. And that's on channels like connected TV, any streaming TV platform, any kind of internet device for programmatic display or online video, and also a lot of native advertising for B2B companies. But we're most known for geofencing. We invented it. It's how you can draw a specific zone around who you want to target and where you want to drive conversions to, but also mostly known for just real-time intent targeting, being able to drive ads to very specific audiences that are based on real-time intent signals, not prepackaged segments that were built over the last 6 months. So it's very great for multi-location brands and agencies managing clients, whether it's in the B2B space that are doing hyper-local or geo-specific targeting. A lot of different stories to tell there. So I can't really fit it into 1 minute elevator pitch, but if anyone is interested in learning a little bit more, please let me know.
Absolutely. So you're good if we share your contact details in the description.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At the very least, in my role here at Simpli.fi, I want to be a resource for agencies that are looking for new ideas, ways to wow their clients, make a splash. And this is where I've got a really good peek under the hood in terms of the ad tech world, and the control and the transparency of attribution and conversion that you can see with Simpli.fi is very impressive.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited. We're going to be together on April 2nd in New York at the Partnership Leaders event. So I can't wait to see you there. And I really appreciate you taking the time today.
Yeah, this will be fun. We'll get to catch up in New York and hopefully share some more success stories.
That sounds great. Thanks so much, Tom.
Thank you, Bill. Have a great rest of the day.
You too.